Hi there and welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. Now this is day 7 of the 30 days of 30-minute workouts, and actually I've just finished it and I'm just re-recording the intro for it because I did it as a live row at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, 9 o'clock UK time, where Fitness Matters run a race on ErgRace, and I've kind of combined with them to do it at the same time, and I stream it live on YouTube. So we're going to do that 3 more times through November if you want to join in. However, because of the whole live setup and things, what it means is that this is a slightly different video in that I'm re-recording the intro and warm-up at the front so that this can still be a standalone within my 30 days of 30-minute workouts. And you'll see at the end for the cooldown, there's a wee edit point as well, okay? So just to make it nice and tidy for you folks. Now, I row this one as quite a high-intensity one. I do this at 24 strokes a minute and at 2K plus 12 pace the whole way through, okay? Something I was a little bit apprehensive about when I came in this morning because I was feeling a little bit stiff and tired, but as I got going, I'm like, well, hey, and I finished. Well, I'm not going to spoiler alert, but yeah, it actually worked out okay. So 2K plus 12 is manageable, is all I'm saying. So don't be scared off by that. But the day 7 workout is what I'm calling a freestyle workout. So just pick what you want to do today. That's just a guide for what I'm doing. In case you're like, oh, I can't think of anything, then do 24 strokes a minute, 2K plus 12 pace for the full half hour, okay, or whatever you want to do. All right. Let's get into a 4-minute warm-up, and as always, we start off by setting up our machine. I almost had my feet into the straps then. Go to your drag factor first and set that where you want it to be. If you don't know about drag factor, I do have a video on this YouTube channel that talks about drag factor, what it is, where you might want to set it. As a guide, I set mine to run about 120, which gives me enough of a weight from the machine without me having to heave and fight against it. The important part is you don't want to bend your arms to kind of fight against the weight from the machine. So if you feel you have to do that, you're probably set too high, okay? And the same kind of guidance goes if you're not on a Concept 2. If you're using a different kind of machine, set the resistance or the weight or whatever so that you can get a good feeling from the stroke, but you don't have to heave and fight it when you're going through your stroke, okay? Next up, set your monitor to eye height so you don't have to look up and you don't have to look down. And finally, your foot straps. Well, it's a good guide. They cover the bottom lace in your shoe or the balls of your feet. But what they have to do is let you come to the front of the machine so your shins point vertically, okay, comfortably. If you can't quite get there, you're going to be set too high. If you go flying straight past, you're set too low. So use that across the balls of your feet, bottom lace of your shoe as a guide, and then adjust from there, all right? So 18 strokes per minute for this warm-up, and I want you to do it at a pace that basically you're just pushing with your feet and feeling that connection into your hands, okay? So not too powerful because I want you to be able to concentrate on that force, okay? And then we'll go up to around about 2K plus 20 pace. Here we go then, in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So it's almost like a body weight squat, as though you're just standing up. Just a nice power so you can go, right, I'm pushing with my feet. When are my hands connecting the handle to the machine? Because if you find that as you come forwards and then you push, your backside scoots out from underneath you, you're pushing too soon before your hands connect. Or if you find you come forwards and then your elbows are bending because you're fighting the machine and you just can't get that leg power in, then obviously you're pulling too soon, rather than both happening at the same time. So what you want to do is push your feet. At that point, the handle, boom, connects to the flywheel. It's really hard to visualize, and me saying boom doesn't help at all. But that's the point, okay? Is to connect both at the same time. And then once you kind of think you're getting there, start to increase your pace by pushing harder with your feet. Keep your stroke rate the same, but put more force from your feet to maybe around about 2K plus 20. And if you don't know what I mean by 2K pace, row a 2-kilometer time trial, divide the resulting time by 4. That will give you an average 500-meter pace. So if you did it in 8:20, your average would be 2 minutes and 5 seconds per 500 meters. And then when I say 2K plus 20, you take your training pace and add 20 seconds to it. So in that example, 2 minutes 5 plus 20, you would row at 2:25. Yeah, pace. Right, Put one foot in the ground, continue rowing. Sorry, it's like there was an extra word I was supposed to put in there. And I couldn't think of it. And it just hung in the air. So, use this single leg rowing to just stretch off the leg that's in, but also to kind of make sure your back angle is correct. One more stroke and then let's swap feet. Remember, you just want to be leaning in to around about 1 o'clock on the clock face, and then back to around about 11 o'clock. Just this rock forwards, rock backwards, rock forwards, rock backwards. And I say rock for a purpose. You're not kind of crumpling with your back. You're rocking forwards, rocking backwards, okay? Tilting over your hips like a hinge. Both feet back in, legs straight, and then let's row with our back and arms to practice that hinge. So you hinge forwards, hinge back, pull arms, out arms, hinge forwards. Okay, so your hinge with your back is what initially picks up the flywheel. That puts some power in, and then you finish off by pulling with your arms. Okay, let's roll to the front of the machine with straight arms and that forward lean, and press out with your legs. Don't go too hard with your legs, because I want you to just get used to that sensation of pushing with your arms straight in the forward lean. If you push too hard with your feet, you kind of have to recoil from it. And I just want you to sit in this forward lean and straight arms position. And then you can work on the timing between your feet and your hands too. Let's take one more of these. Oh, and then we're done. Okay, so have a quick drink. Make sure that you're okay. Hopefully, you'll get the timing right. I'll maybe put up a little counter just to get the timing right for the start of ErgRace. Because it was app controlled, I wasn't able to count down on my normal 3, 2, 1. So there will be a timer on screen, so look for that for when to start. And like I say, just pick your own pace, or do this at 24 strokes per minute and at 2K plus 12 pace, okay? So that's me done with my little re-record section. There will now be a sudden glitch edit point as I go back into what I did for the live row, and then I will see you again, but 5 minutes ago, as we hit the cooldown. Anyway, good luck with your row, and make sure to leave me a comment for how you got on with it. Okay. So keep an eye on your monitors. I will talk you through this as it happens for me, but obviously you'll see it on screen. Attention. Go. Oh, we didn't get much time there, did we? Okay. So, like I say, my intention is to do this at 24 strokes a minute, 2K plus 12, which means I should be rowing around about 157 pace. Now you don't have to follow along with me. This is session 7 is like an elective. Nope, backed off a bit. It's an elective one for the week, so you can row this at whatever pace, but I'm just throwing out the suggestion. Sorry, I'm just pausing because I'm kind of all over the place, pace-wise. Just try to get a hang of it. I just want to hold, if I can hold 157 the whole way, I'll be happy. So how many? Can't quite see. There's 7 of us rowing. Right now, Sam is in the lead. Mark Evans in second. I'm in third place. Slightly ahead of James Munday. I'm hoping that as being one of the 10K sessions was 2 times 20 minutes at this pace and stroke rate, that half an hour in a single sausage isn't a bad idea. That extra 10 minutes will certainly add to the intensity, and unless I get into a proper bun fight at the end of it, then it'll just be a case of holding this rate and pace the whole way through. So now that we're coming up for 3.5 minutes into this, and hopefully you're warmed up, any niggles that your body may have will either have eased up or really revealed themselves as proper injuries that mean you either need to slow down to protect or stop altogether. But it's also the right time to just start thinking a little bit more about your technique before you kind of get anything a little bit loose into the habit for the next half hour. Oh well, 25 minutes at least. So I have been trying to break up various aspects of technique over the past 6 days to try and let you understand my thought processes behind why a good technique is there, or why I talk about it all the time. And it really comes down to efficiency and injury prevention. So, injury prevention should, I'm hoping, make enough sense that you want to make sure to not get injured while rowing, but also that you don't find an accumulation of rowing just causes strains and aches once you've cooled down. You can take care of that partly through a good stretching routine, but it's best to take care of it at the source rather than trying to fix it afterwards. But efficiency is kind of, if you can think about it, from an efficiency point of view, it will help you get fitter and faster, and then just as a byproduct, because you're rowing with a good technique, the whole injury prevention thing will come into play anyway. And really, it's all about body angles and how you put the power into the machine. So, from a body angle point of view, the important things to always think about is that you're only ever really going from a 1 o'clock on the clock face lean forwards to a 11 o'clock lean backwards. It's worthwhile videoing yourself and having a look to see what's going on, because it's easy to think you're in the right angles, but then you watch it back and suddenly lots becomes apparent. Like, the two main things that you'll see are people who finish a lot deeper than 11 o'clock. Or, I mean, an over lean at the front can happen from tired people who just go, oh, like that. But that's not what I mean. An over tilt at the front is normally an issue with like an extra lean. That's my issue, where I come forwards and then as I get to the front I kind of dip, and that ruins my stroke. But the other error you will see is people who come forwards with the greatest of intentions, but then just as they start to drive their legs into the machine, they'll swing back too soon, ruining the point of that forward lean. You can often see that happen because people will look up. So if you look up, it promotes that braking, that early swing over your back. So if you can just think about 1 o'clock forwards, 11 o'clock, back. That will take you a lot closer to a good technique than a lot of people out there. The next thing is your arms. Making sure at the front of the machine they're straight. You don't want a bend in your elbows. Straight and relaxed. I often talk about zombies and how they're nice and loose and relaxed with their arms, and that's how you should come forwards. If I was in your rowing room and I saw your triceps and forearms popping on your arms, I'd tell you to relax. Because that's a good sign that you're coming forwards rigid. You want nice, loose shoulders and loose arms, ready to brace against the handle as you push with your feet. So you're not pulling on the handle as you go through the stroke. You hang, you brace at the front of the stroke. It's only at the back of the stroke that you finally pull with your arms. So you're straight pull, straight pull, straight pull. See the amount of time that my arms remain straight for. All right, halfway there. We're at the Bon Jovi point. Good going. But it's still important that you think about that pull. You want to come in with enough power, obviously, to add force into the stroke, but also so that the handle bounces away from your body again. So if you finish with the handle around sternum height, what's happened to Sam? So you finish sternum height, elbows through your sides, wrists flat, then that creates a springiness to your arms that sends them forwards only like a couple of inches, but it's enough, that springiness, to initiate the return of your arms. So all you need to do is continue that momentum of the forward movement. And then as your arms come out, get them into that nice straight zombie position, nice and loose and relaxed. And what happens is that the momentum of your arms going away helps to trigger your back coming out of that 11 o'clock layback. So your arms go, and then your back gets into that forward lean by the time your hands are past your knees. And that is the trick for making sure you don't overlean at the front. Once your arms are straight and you have that forward lean, you don't move your back anymore. You just stay in that angle. And that return really is all about efficiency. Your arms naturally bounce forwards in the same rhythm you pull them in at, which then triggers that forward lean. And then as your body weight is now going forwards, all you have to do is bend your knees and you will return to the front of the machine with hardly any energy expenditure from other muscles. And that's where the efficiency thing comes in. You want to make sure you're never wasting energy in the stroke or losing energy. So the power generation comes not from your arms pulling the handle, but from your legs pushing the machine away from you. And if you think about it in those terms, pushing the machine away rather than pushing yourself backwards, then it's easier to get the right sensation of getting the power from your legs through your body, through your arms, and into the handle. Because what you don't want to do is either lose power by not connecting your feet to the handle at the same time, or fighting other muscles. So you really want just your legs to feel as though they're working at the start of the stroke here. You will feel tension as you brace your arms against the handle, but you shouldn't feel the need to fight it with your arms. If you do, if the stroke is so heavy that you have to grab to get it moving, then chances are your drag factor or resistance is set too high. I say or resistance for those not on a concept 2. I'm not saying that drag factor is the same as resistance. So arms straight and push with the feet, with the legs. And that forward lean that I'm so chatty about is how the power gets up and into your arms without your back fighting it either. So a good posture and a forward lean with a braced core, and then straight arms as you push the machine away from you, and the power should surge into the machine. You really should hear it accelerate, rip through the air. 5 minutes to go. 120 strokes for me. And then once your leg drive is about halfway done, that's when you finally swing over your back, tilting, hinging over your hips from a forward lean to backward lean. And that tilt, swing, rock of your back adds power into the machine. Certainly enough that you don't want to lose by swinging your back before you drive with your legs. And then right as you start that backswing, that's when you finally pull the handle in to round about sternum height. And again, that sternum height, you will see other rowers finishing in different places, often very high. Whoops. And apart from the fact you could let go of the handle, like I just did, it also puts all of your arm force into your biceps and forearms rather than your lats taking the fair share of the force. So if you don't have the strength or muscle fitness to finish high, you're headed towards a torn bicep, tennis elbow, and possibly just a slower stroke. Similar, but often common in water rowers is finishing with the elbows out instead of through, which for the on the water people that may be cool, but it puts the force into your delts. Again, they aren't as big and powerful as your lats, so you may injure them. So a slight flare out of your elbows is okay in order to keep your wrists flat and help with your elbows coming through, which then creates that spring forwards of your arms. Whew. Crikey, there's so much more I could say, but watch all of my workout videos across this month and you'll hear it all. One more stroke. Oh. Okay, so obviously because I was recording that live, I did quite a long kind of outro live and I was answering a couple of people's questions and stuff. So I've kind of packaged this one onto the end for a cool down so that we can kind of say goodbye, and it seems a little bit more professional because I was ended up answering a question about whether to buy a Concept 2 or a water rower and kind of went on a bit, and you really don't need to know all that on this. So we just got through quite an intense half-hour row, depending on how fast you rode it. So make sure and have a quick drink before we start into this cool down. What we're going to do is we'll do 2 minutes at around about 18 strokes per minute. And I want you to start it at a pace where you can almost like slide down from where you are right now. So you'll have recovered for like a minute and a half after that row. And then you're going to be at a certain intensity level of breathing or whatever now. And I want you to just take yourself down over the next 2 minutes, okay? So I'm going to row it round about 2K plus 30. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So like I say, run about 18 strokes a minute, but just pick a rate and pace that you're comfortable with. All depends how you just rode that session. Maybe you did it as just a gentle 20 strokes a minute or something. Maybe you did it as a proper full-on time trial. Hopefully you did quite well. Before I came out this morning, I was saying to Julie, I was like, oh, I made the mistake of telling people I was going to row this at 2K plus 12. I shouldn't have done that because I was thinking, because it was early in the morning and I was feeling a little bit, I thought I'd made a mistake in suggesting that. But actually, I was only 0.3 off by the end of it. So I'm quite pleased that I was able to do the whole thing at 2K plus 12 while talking to you. So it does make me think that that when I make these videos, I'm still rowing off a slightly soft 2K time. But you know what? I'm okay with that for the time being, because if it lets me talk to you by just easing off like a couple of seconds, so maybe instead of rowing that at 157, I should have done it closer to 155 if I wasn't talking to you. I did think about whether I should do a video in this series, like mute, not talking to you, maybe stick up some just library music instead, but I don't really think that's the value of my channel, is it? I don't think that would be all about showing you how fast I could row, and that's, seriously, nobody wants to see how slow I can row. So I will continue just talking away. Because if you want a mute video, I've got all my stroke rate 4-hour videos up there anyway, so there we go, 2 minutes done. So yeah, so because I've got, if you want to just row at 24 strokes a minute solidly, then I basically did a 15, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 8, 30, like 4-hour videos for you to just like load up, stick on your own music and row along to. The only reason they're 4 hours is so that you're not going to run out of time. It's not, if I only made them half an hour, then maybe you want to row for an hour. And so there wouldn't be enough video. Or maybe you wanted to, I made it an hour and you wanted to use it as a marathon. So I thought, you know what, I'll just give everyone, I doubt anyone's going to row a marathon at 32 strokes a minute. But you might. So that's why I still put it in at 4 hours. So anyway, right, sorry, we'll use this waffling time just to stretch and pack up and stuff. I really recommend stretching your quads, your hamstrings. If you want to do your shoulders, your forearms, your biceps, if you're kind of a grabber, that's a good idea. I do talk, it's hard to demonstrate because I'm on the machine here and I can't quite get the angles right, but I talk about stretching your sciatic nerve as well, so if you flick your feet back up, so lie on the ground, sit on the ground with legs out in front of you, turn your feet up towards you, tuck your chin into your chest, and then just fold your body down to your legs, okay? And that's all you're doing. You're not grabbing yourself forwards. You have a nice posture to your back, so all you're doing is this down towards your legs. Just gently so you can feel it. And you should feel all up the back of your legs and up through your lower back, your sciatic nerve just having a light stretch, okay? That's important, just because of how we row and whatever can kind of aggravate it. That, along with the hamstring stretch, is kind of really important. So anyway, there we go. That's the end of today's row. Hopefully it was okay. I'll spend a little bit of time kind of re-editing this one. It's because it's a Sunday, I've got time that I can do this. I'll just kind of edit it, package it up a little bit neater in terms of the 30 Days of 30s kind of playlist. The live version will still set up here for anyone that wants to kind of just see just how waffly I got at the end. Answering the question about whether to buy a water row or a Concept 2. But yeah, this one will be a little bit better. And I'm actually about to re-record the warm-up at the front, because obviously the live setting, you can't really do it. So that's what I'm going to do next. So if you're like, why was he sweaty at the beginning and then dry? That's why. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming along and doing this one. Remember, these are done live at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday through, this is November 2021, so there's going to be 4 options to do these. 9 o'clock in the morning UK time. I'm going to do these live through YouTube, but it's also going to be on the ErgRace app. You can check the community tab on YouTube, and on the Facebook group where the competition code to do this race is a little bit, because Michael didn't get in today, there's a little bit weirdness happening, but hey, even if you're able to row along on YouTube, then at least you might not be on the screen of the ErgRace, but you can still row along with me. Who doesn't want that, eh? Anyway, right. It's early on a Sunday morning. I've got a whole day ahead of me, which I'm really looking forward to. So hopefully whenever you watch this, you're going to have a good day too. Please look after yourselves. Make sure and leave a comment and let me know how you enjoyed this one, whether you did it like nice and fast or whether you took it a little bit easy, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and just going to let me know how you're getting on, because after all, I keep on making these because I know you folks keep on watching them. So I need to know that you're watching, because otherwise I'll be like, oh, no one likes me anymore. And hey, we all need validation. I don't really. I'd just do this on my own anyway, even if no one was watching, on my own, singing all by myself. And to that Bon Jovi point, I wouldn't be singing Bon Jovi anymore. I'd be like, all by myself. Anyway, that could be that. No, we're not having a hashtag all by myself, because that makes it sound quite So I was all by myself, so we shouldn't do that. I'm trying to think of what we can do as today's hashtag. Let's just do live with RowAlong, okay? If you got this far and you want to use a hashtag, just do live with RowAlong. People might read that as live with RowAlong and think it's a competition to come and live with me for a week. Hey. Anyway, have a great day. I will see you in another video. Please look after yourselves. Stay safe. Be well. Bye-bye.